Most people get an embroidery machine with dreams of creating custom clothes like t-shirts, and a t-shirt is often the first project that you try, only to be disappointed in how awful it looks. I've got several tips in this video that can turn you into a t-shirt embroidering guru. Hey folks, I'm Lucy at Ballyhoo Creations, where I digitize in the hoop projects like the ones you see back there, and I teach people like you how to enjoy your embroidery machine instead of despising it. I've been doing this a long time and I've made all the mistakes, so I know what I'm talking about when I tell you t-shirts are not the easiest thing to machine embroider. If you're brand new to machine embroidery, you should start on more stable fabrics like felt or woven cotton until you get a feel for proper hooping and learning how your machine works. But once you get the hang of how to use your machine, then you're ready for t-shirts. The thing that makes the t-shirt challenging is the fabric. It's not only stretchy, but it's also lightweight, so it can't hold as many stitches layered on top like something like a sweatshirt could. To get a beautifully embroidered t-shirt, we have to consider a few extra things, like your choice of design, proper hooping, and stabilizing the fabric is super important with these flimsy t-shirt fabrics. But before I show you all the stuff, I will say that once you know the rules, you can break them properly. And I'll talk more about that towards the end of this video. Design choice is a big deal. You can't put large, heavy, dense designs on t-shirts. The fabric is not strong enough to support all that extra thread. So choose a smaller design, usually ones that fit in 4x4 hoops, or a larger design could be things like an applique or an open design where there are fewer stitches and they don't cover that whole big area. Even with designs that have space between the objects, such as lettering, you can still have problems because a t-shirt is not strong enough to support the weight of all that thread you piled on top. So it might sag and distort. Designs that have a lot of outlines can also be problematic too, but you can use those if you stabilize properly, and we're going to get to that right now. Only use cutaway stabilizer. I can't tell you how many times I see someone asking for help on their t-shirt stitch out and they're using a tearaway stabilizer. Do not use tearaway. It can tear while you're stitching and your shirt will get poked down into the bobbin case and ruined. It's different for woven fabrics. Use your tearaway there, not for your stretchy stuff. No-show mesh is also okay for smaller designs so that the shadow of stabilizer doesn't show through your shirt. T-shirts are typically thin and kind of see-through, so especially the lighter color ones, try to stick with a light to a medium weight cutaway type of stabilizer on t-shirts. I am not a fan of using multiple layers of stabilizer. You can cause more problems than you fix. So if you do everything else properly, you don't need to use 2 or 3 layers of your cutaway, mesh, whatever. Just be sure it's a cutaway stabilizer when embroidering stretch knits like t-shirts. Even with the right stabilizer, you can still run into problems when the shirt stretches or shifts. The absolute best way to fix that problem is to use an adhesive so your shirt is stuck to the stabilizer. A lot of people use a temporary spray adhesive for this. Be sure it's temporary so it will wash out later. I use the Oda 505, it's what I've been using for a while, but there are other brands and they work just the same. Don't use fabric glue. I know that sounds silly to some of you, but last week someone asked me if that was okay, and it's not. But a cheap glue stick does work in a pinch. Just don't overdo it. I personally don't like using sprays because my lungs are kind of sensitive, so I look for the alternatives. You can also use a stabilizer that's fusible and iron that onto the wrong side of your shirt. That makes it easier to hoop and stitch. So I'll link to some fusible mesh in the video description. That's really great for newbies. Secret weapon here, Terrail Magic or Best Press. These will stiffen the fabric and keep it from stretching during the stitch out, so your design will come out cleaner. I'm not even affiliate for Terrail Magic, but I've been using it for years and it makes tricky fabrics super easy to stitch. But you do have to wash it out so your shirt goes back to being soft again, and you also have to spray it on and iron it just as the prep, so it does take a little longer, but it's totally worth it. If you're struggling with your flimsy fabrics or t-shirts, try this stuff. Another trick is to use a water-soluble topper or a heat-soluble melt-away topper. These films can also stabilize the fabric better and give a crisper stitch out on knit fabrics. I use a lot of t-shirt knit fabrics when making art dolls, and I also use a film topper to make the tiny facial features stand out better, and it works for t-shirts too, especially for a really small text like in logos. Try a topper. You don't need to use all of these things. In fact, I think it's overkill to use a stiffener and a topper and an adhesive. Choose one or two things that you have available and your shirts will stitch better. You can use regular or magnetic hoops for shirts, but don't float unless your fabric is adhered to the stabilizer and the stabilizer is tightly hooped. If floating is working for you, then keep doing it. But if you can't get a good t-shirt and you're trying to float it, then try actually hooping it. It should go better for you. And when I say tightly hooped, I mean the hoop is tight around the fabric and stabilizer around the edges. I don't mean the fabric is tight in the embroidery area. Which is another tip. Do not stretch the fabric when you hoop it. Some people take that drum tight advice way too far and stretch the shirt and the hoop, and that's going to create a design that's inside a bowl of your fabric, and you don't want that. Nobody wants that. Placement. You can put your design anywhere on your shirt. A logo or a small design on the left chest is great. You can put something larger across the chest as long as there are not too many stitches in the design. And you can do things like embroider the neckline, or you can do your sleeves, maybe even a bottom hem. Just remember, your embroidery may change the stretch of the shirt, which could make it harder to put on and take off if you cover too much area. Figure out where you want your design, and you can use chalk, a fabric marker, or placement stickers to mark the center of your design. I like to attach my stabilizer to the back of the shirt using either spray adhesive or a fusible stabilizer. And make sure the stabilizer is bigger than your hoop, because if you have a part of the hoop that's just the t-shirt without stabilizer, that's going to stretch during stitching and it could distort your design. Then you center the inner ring of your hoop and tape it in a few places so when you line up the outer ring that's inside the shirt, your placement won't move around. If you don't get it perfect the first time, you can make adjustments on your machine or unhoop and start over. Don't feel bad if it takes a few tries. This is fussy work. If you want to spend some money, a laser like the Vivilux or a hooping station like Hoopmaster does make it much easier. And if you're on a flatbed machine like most single needle machines, you'll need to gather the fabric into a bowl shape so it doesn't get underneath the hoop. I find it best to roll up the fabric and roll it away from the hoop so it's less likely to fall in there. You can use clips, pins, or tape to hold that fabric out of the way. And no, you don't need all three. I'm just showing you all the options. On a free arm machine, you can hoop it so the free arm fits inside the neck or the bottom of the shirt, or you can even have the hoop arms come out of the arms of the shirt. Just find the hoop orientation that works best for your situation. A regular 7511 embroidery needle should work fine for most cotton or polyester or rayon t-shirts. You may hear that you need a ballpoint or a special needle for knits, and that is true for sewing machines, but I've never needed it for embroidery machines. Embroidery needles are designed to work with both woven and knit fabrics, but if your shirt has spandex or is super stretchy, you might need a ballpoint needle if you're getting skip stitches. I shouldn't need to say it, but don't use an old dull needle on your shirt. If you're using all my previous tips and you still get puckering, or if your fabric is getting snags in it, change your needle and quit being so stingy with your money. Those needles, they don't last forever. You got to change them from time to time. About every 8 hours of stitching is what's recommended. You'd be surprised how many people use dull needles and can't figure out what's wrong. It happens a lot. For the rest of it, you just put it on your machine and hit start, and the machine will do the rest of the work. Just change your colors, keep an eye on it. There you go. And that, my dear folks, is how you embroider a t-shirt. Them's all the rules. And once you know all these rules, then you can break them properly. For example, I can use a water-activated sticky stabilizer on t-shirts, and it's tearaway. I know. It's crazy, but it works because the fabric is stuck to the stabilizer and because I know what designs to choose and also how to hoop it properly. So once you learn the rules and get great looking shirts, then you can experiment and see what else could work for you. And now you know how to embroider a t-shirt to ensure success instead of stress. Choose your designs wisely, use a cutaway stabilizer, and make sure the shirt fabric can't shift around on the stabilizer, either by hooping it correctly or using adhesive or a fabric stiffener. You can position designs anywhere on your shirt you want them, and as always, keep an eye on your machine while it's stitching to make sure that you catch any problems quickly. I hope you found this video helpful. There's links down in the description box to the stuff that I've been talking about if you want more info, and I will see you later, folks. Okay, so I just did half of it with no audio, so let's do this all over again. I love video. Video is fun. Making videos is fun. Technology is amazing. Oh.